This isn't about the introduction. This is about Sam Roberts now, and I see it already. I see it everywhere. People are worried. They're going, it's already been spoiled. Don't worry about it. The Avengers was spoiled for me on YouTube. It was spoiled for me on Instagram. It was spoiled for me everywhere. Look, I've been talking a lot about the Avengers in the past few days on the radio and whatnot, and I didn't have any specific plans to see it. You know, the thing is, I've seen some of the Marvel movies, not all of them, but I feel like mostly they're all the same, and you kind of they always deliver, but they deliver on exactly what's expected. Like, I've never quite understood why spoilers are that big of a deal with Marvel movies, because you kind of know where it's going to go, right? I mean, I've never seen a Marvel movie where I leave like, oh, I did not. They've never had a Darth Vader, Luke, I'm your father moment, I don't think, in a Marvel movie. Or maybe I'm just not, I'm just not so aware of everything that's going on. But regardless, I'm sitting there, right? And I'm like, well, the Travis dog over on the Jim Norton and Sam Roberts show and other super Avengers Marvel fans, they were trying to get tickets for this movie weeks in advance. Like 3 weeks ago, I think, they went on sale. And people were trying to get tickets to the Avengers like it was a concert. They had to log on at a certain time. It was exactly like what I do on shoe release day. Like on the Friday or the Saturday that the shoes come out, and they come out on the app at 10 a.m., you have to be on the app, and you have to get it. And for me, it makes perfect sense, and it's perfectly reasonable to do that for a pair of shoes. But to do that for movie tickets, I go, what? What? I go to some app 5 minutes before I go to the theater. That's how you get movie tickets. I guess it's just what we're conditioned to, but people just, they got so excited. They got so excited, as a matter of fact, that they crashed some of the movie theater apps and their ticket buying services when the tickets went on sale, and people were not able to get them right away, and then they had to hang out on the apps, and they had to try hours and hours later, and all this stuff. So I go, okay, well, I'll just see it when it comes out on iTunes or something. Then I find out that people are getting so crazy with this movie that there are some movie theaters that are, for like 4 days straight, going to just show it nonstop. Not meaning like, oh, well, in this theater, they're just going to show this movie while the theater's open, because that's what they do for every movie. I mean, 24 hours a day. When the movie ends, they're going to start it again and start it again and start it again, to the point that these movie theaters, which generally close, I don't know, midnight or so, are going to be open 24 hours a day to make room for people trying to see the Avengers. And I'm going, okay, all right. You're starting to hook me in here. This is becoming a happening. And if there's one thing I enjoy, it's a happening. So I go on my app yesterday or the day before, and I realized that one of the theaters fairly close to where I live is doing that, is showing this movie every screening for 24 hours. And I'm like, oh my God. So I'm going to sit there, because I said, like, it would be fun to just go, even if you don't really care about the movie, just to go to a movie theater when it's not usually open. To me, that's a good time. I'm not the most exciting person in the world. I don't know if you could draw that from me, but to me, going to a movie theater in off hours and watching a movie is a good time. And so when I saw that the theater by me was doing this, I was like, oh boy, they're roping me in. And I looked at it, and 24 hours or so before I went, I was able to get a ticket to see the Avengers Endgame at a 12:30 a.m. screening at a theater not too far from me. And then I realized, okay, I didn't really do the math. I didn't realize that because this is a 3-hour movie, and there's going to be trailers, obviously, before it. And by the way, the trailer game is becoming such a racket. Disney owns so much. I'm watching the trailers that are coming on before Avengers, and it's like The Lion King and Star Wars and all these movies, and I'm going, wait a minute. Disney, Marvel, Star Wars, it's all Disney. Disney just was like, hey, put all of our big movie trailers on before our other big movie. It's starting to feel Monopoly-ish. I can't go so far as to say Monopoly, but I would say Monopoly-ish. So I went to a 12:30 screening, kind of realizing that after trailers and a full 3 hours, I'm going to be sitting there watching the Avengers until 4 o'clock in the morning. And at this point in my life, I don't know, but I whatever. How many opportunities are you going to get to do this in life, right? And I was kind of mocked, I was looking, and I was kind of mocked because I said, okay, I'm going to be a part of this. And I figured that people would call me a hypocrite, and rightfully so, because I was sitting there going, what's the big deal about this movie? But I didn't realize that there were going to be people going, oh, that's so pathetic. You're going to a movie by yourself? Oh, no. I thought that the right thing to do would be to take my 7.5-month or 8.5-month pregnant wife. She's going to give birth in like 3 weeks. She's probably going to want to sit in a theater until 4 o'clock in the morning to watch a superhero movie. No, that's exactly. And by the way, our 2-year-old, we'll just let him sleep. He sleeps at night anyway. So we'll leave him in the house by himself sleeping, and I'll bring my 8.5-month pregnant wife to sit in a movie theater to watch Captain America until 4 o'clock in the morning. That seems like the reasonable choice. No, I didn't do that. But I'll tell you, even if it wasn't going until 4 o'clock in the morning, sitting and watching a movie by yourself is one of the great pleasures in life. If you're the type of person who cannot watch a movie by yourself, that feels like there's something wrong with it, that there's some kind of shame in watching a film by yourself, I would say that you have major self-esteem issues, and you need to get a lot more comfortable with that computer that's in between your ears called your brain. Because apparently the minute you are by yourself, you go into such a panic that you need somebody sitting next to you when you're there to see a movie. When I am by myself, I am very comfortable with me. I am an evolved person. I sit there and I enjoy my own company. All day I was thinking about it. I'm going to get a cherry Coke. I'm going to get a popcorn. I'm going to sit in a recliner in the movie theater. I'm not going to know anybody there. It's going to be fantastic. And it was. It was a great time, and I felt like I was part of a happening, and I sat there and I'm going, but I'm going to be able to say, because I don't care about this movie that much. I don't care about the spoilers. I don't care about any of it. I'm going to be able to say, and I'm not going to spoil anything on this here Sam Roberts Now show. But I'm going to be able to view this movie through a critical lens and not fall into the Marvel fanboy hype of the whole thing. I'm going to be able to be honest about it. I see Sam D in the YouTube chat right now. He says it best. Anyone who mocks people that go out to eat, watch movies, do something enjoyable by themselves can't handle being alone. It is a pathetic thing to need company around you at all times. When I see people like that, it's the type of people that kind of just need... It's like when a person gets famous and they need an entourage around them at all times. Or they need somebody, yes men around them at all times. It's ridiculous. It's just, you gotta be able to fill that void by yourself. You gotta be able to handle the company of yourself alone. Otherwise, go to a therapist. If you can't go to a movie by yourself and enjoy it, you need cognitive behavioral therapy. Because you have some deep issues, man. Deep issues. But I'm ready. I'm ready to watch the Avengers Endgame. I'm ready to do it without anyone just not being a hype beast for the whole thing. There's not that much in my life. Like when I watch wrestling, I watch it through a biased lens. When I buy shoes, everything's biased with me because I have my hobbies and I like my things. And I'm aware of that, and that's fine. But you can't hype me with this Marvel movie. And I'll tell you, I sat there and within the first 2 hours of the movie, I would say, I dozed off very, very briefly twice. 2 times I dozed off very, very briefly, and that was not because the movie was bad. That was because it was 2 o'clock in the morning, and I'm becoming an old person. I'm becoming an old man. But it was it was for a minute at a time. I would sit there. It was one of those things where I'd go, okay, and you're watching the movie, and you go, I could probably get as much out of this scene. Let me rest my eyes for a second. They're just doing a little backstory here. It's not the big climax yet. Let me rest my eyes for a second, and I'll just listen, and then I'll be fine. And then scenes that are not in the movie start happening in your head, and you got to shake yourself out of it and go, okay, get back to it. Twice that happened, and only for a couple of minutes at a time. So I can't count that against the movie. When I really realized that I wasn't going to be able to trash this movie was when I got a little watery-eyed. I have to admit that. Okay, there is something fun, and I'm not going to tell you what happens, but it's a very emotional movie. This Avengers movie is the climax. And by the way, I see a whole bunch of you guys typing in on the chat right now, and I'll read as many as I see. But if you really want your comments read, the Super Chat's open. I already see Rob Thomas jumped into the Super Chat. You know the rules of Sam Roberts Now, of the Not Sam YouTube channel. The Tomorrow Show abides by the same rules. If you want your comment read, you got to be in the Super Chat. Look, if you want to put spoilers in the Super Chat, be that guy. I'll get into my spoilers theory in a minute. But I sat there and I got watery-eyed. And it's really funny to, like, watch this movie in a full theater. It's like 3 o'clock in the morning now. The theater is full. It's mainly dudes. And every scene, I mean, they're so engaged in the whole movie. Every fight scene, there are people going like, oh, yeah, get him, oh. Every, like, quippy comment somebody makes, which it's a lot of quippy comments with this Marvel movie. But every quippy comment that somebody makes, oh, like, there's all these reactions. Damn, bro, oh. And then all of a sudden, this thing happens in the movie, and the theater goes silent. And you just hear men, dudes. I'm going like, this is it. I mean, the same way, like, I feel like when, like, The Fault in Our Stars, there are some movies that are just designed to make women cry, right? When you, or The Notebook, when you tell a great love story, but it either ends with cancer or Alzheimer's, really, it's a cheap trick to making the women in the audience cry. And a lot of times women will go to the theater wanting to get a good cry out. You can't usually get men to admit that they're going to the theater to get a good cry out, but man, when you can trick them into crying over a superhero movie, you can hear it in their voices. These men have been looking for something to cry about. I feel it. When I start getting watery-eyed, I'm like, oh my God, I've been holding this back for so long. I start thinking about my dad. I start thinking about every dead dog I've ever had. I start thinking about my kid. It's amazing. You know, something's happening to one of these superheroes. You start getting the slightest hint of emotion, and that dam, my friend, falls down. Everything you've been avoiding comes tumbling through. And when a movie is able to penetrate that wall, and all those pesky emotions that you've been blocking away as a man, they all start coming through that wall that's been destroyed. That's when you realize, okay, they did it. It's a successful movie. I also realized, and I think that this has a lot to do with me, I don't understand people that don't like scary movies because they get scared in movies, because I go, who gets scared in a movie? It's fake. But I sat there going, I don't like sad movies. I don't like feeling this way. I don't understand why this is happening right now. Skip to the next part. Can we get some more explosions or something? Just go forward. And then another superhero comes over to this superhero and says something, and I go, oh no. I mean, it's just, I see Jeremy is calling me Sammy Pissy Eyes. Not pissy eyes. I'm not sobbing. I'm not sniffling. But I had to, I felt the water in my eyes. Maybe a quick brush here. Maybe one of these. And that was it for me. But, you know, it was successful. All the reviews have obviously been favorable. Variety said, if Infinity War was billed as a must-see event for all moviegoers, whether or not they'd attended a single Marvel movie prior, then Endgame is the ultimate fan service follow-up. And that's exactly what it was. I mean, Endgame, the thing that the Russo brothers really did well in this Avengers Endgame movie is they took you on this journey back through the last, because they've made actually 198 Marvel movies in the last 12 years. 198 is the final count. And you are obligated to see every single one of the 198 Marvel movies that have come out. But, I mean, I'll tell you, it's a very complicated thing to try to pin together a franchise like that with that many movies. And they did a tremendous job of weaving this story that brings you in to most of the key movies that happen throughout this franchise. You know, by the way, there are major plot holes in the movie. major plot holes in the movie. And I think that we may need to do another show. Maybe next weekend we'll do a show where we start busting through, and I'll get a guest in here or something, where we start busting through all the plot holes in Avengers. Because, you know, I appreciate the movie, but once I feel good doing spoilers, I really want to have some conversations about some of the stuff that went down. Because I was thinking about it for a long time, and it did not make sense in my head, some of the stuff. But regardless, that's minutia. That's the science of it. The physics in the X-Men movie, in the comic book movie, didn't make sense to me. I think that that's okay. I would say Henry Hill says, how epic was that movie? It was an epic. Epic is the right word for it. It was an epic movie. Look, I don't think that any of these Marvel movies should be talked about like they're going to get Oscar nominated personally. I don't think not one Marvel movie that's ever been made holds anywhere near a candle to anything Christopher Nolan did with that Batman trilogy. That Batman trilogy is the one comic book movie trilogy that goes beyond comic book movies. Like, Marvel doesn't go beyond comic book movies. They just make really good comic book movies. But I do have to appreciate it because I've seen some of the garbage that DC has put out. And it's very evident to me that these comic book movies can go very, very awry. But this didn't go awry. Now, the spoiler question is a big one because I see some of you, and I already have seen, let's see, I'll mention you by name. Brian Springman in Super Chat is paying to make sure that people see these spoilers, which I appreciate. You know, I have no problem. And I see a lot of you guys are in the chat right now giving spoilers, which if you want to do it, spoilers in the chat, do what you're going to do. You know, I'm not mad at it. You know, and like Dan the Man, don't look at his comment if you don't want a spoiler, but that was hilarious. Alan Jackson, who I believe is the same person who sang the song Chattahoochee, says, do you think Travis Dogg cried more at Endgame or missing the last Monday Nitro? I don't know. Endgame's pretty emotional, man. And Travis is generally a pretty closed-off person in his real life. So I think that probably the crying that he should have done when his mom left happened at Endgame in the Avengers movie. That's the way these things work for us. You know, I blocked a couple people on my Instagram last night because I was smart enough to not post anything about seeing this movie until right before I saw the movie. So I'm not going to look through the comments and get it spoiled for me. One of the main things was spoiled for me because I think it was kind of unavoidable, but I also kind of expected it to happen, so that didn't do anything. For me, it didn't do anything. Some other people, like I watched, there's some news article that says that there are people that are getting their asses kicked outside of movie theaters for spoiling the movie. I don't think that that's true. There was one that said that a guy had to be rushed to the hospital for crying too much and being over-emotional and going into panic attacks or whatever. I don't necessarily believe any of that stuff is true, but it's fun to talk about. As far as the spoilers go, look, on one end, like when I looked at it on my Instagram account, I thought it was annoying, not for me, but because I didn't want the people that follow me on Instagram, they're like, oh, cool, Sam's seeing the Avengers, to scroll through the comments that are supposed to just be there to troll me, and then they get the Avengers spoil for them. Maybe I have too big a heart. I'm sitting there going, I want people to enjoy me getting trolled, and instead they got to get this movie stolen from them. That's not fair. You know, I blocked the people, except I unblocked a couple of them this morning already. But my initial response was to block the people on Instagram that were spoiling it. But then at the same time, I'm looking for him now. One of the guys, I don't remember his name. It doesn't even matter what his name is. One of the guys from the Buffalo Bills spoiled the movie. He just jumped on his Twitter account and put a giant spoiler out there on purpose. And then, instead of deleting the tweet, he did another tweet where he did a video of himself spoiling the movie. And I thought that was the funniest thing I'd ever seen. Because this guy is like a football player. He's trying to get people to like him. You know, he's supposed to have fans. Like, it's all so important. And he just destroys it. He just gets everybody pissed off and he just doesn't care. When a public figure, if you're not a public figure and you do it, I'm not that impressed. But when a public figure gets everybody pissed off and they just don't care, to me, there's something funny about that. I like the idea of almost spoiling the movie for somebody that I know. But once the spoiler happens and they already know and you just look at them and they're bummed out, like that part's not that funny. when they think it might get spoiled and they're trying to avoid it and you're trying to make them not avoid it, that whole game is funny. But once you just put it out there and it's done, I don't know. I don't think it's that funny anymore, you know? But yeah, I thought they did a good job. But you know, as I was watching, I figured out what my problem with the Marvel universe is. And that is the amount of fat that you have to trim from this thing. I see AJ Guerrero says, it's definitely not the best movie ever, but no movie or saga will be able to do what Endgame manages to do. Yeah, I mean, in the sense that it brings everything together. Here's the thing. They go, and my wife was asking me, she goes, okay, so this Avengers movie, it's the end? It's called Endgame. They're doing big moves. You know, the button at the end, you know, Marvel always does the bonus scene after the credits. It is specifically engineered to make it so that there is not a thing that will continue. Like, there is no continuation of this. But there's still a Spider-Man sequel coming out. There's still Guardians of the Galaxy 3 coming out. So I don't know if this is like a chapter and they're just going to continue. I don't know if the whole thing starts from scratch. I don't understand it at all. At all. I mean, it seems to me like the way this movie is done, it would be very difficult to have a sequel after this movie and not be all mixed up. But they're doing another Spider-Man movie soon. There's like posters for it already. Not the animated one, because don't get confused. The animated Spider-Man is different from this Spider-Man, which is different from the Facebook Spider-Man, which is different from Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. So don't get your Spider-Mans confused. I'm talking about Marissa Tomei Spider-Man. They're doing another Marissa Tomei Spider-Man movie like later this year, I think. And then Guardians of the Galaxy 3 is coming out. And the guy who directs Guardians of the Galaxy 3, James Gunn, due to a series of controversy, is now also directing the new Suicide Squad, which may have John Cena in it, but that's a DC movie and completely unrelated. But I don't understand. So I don't understand how this is the end. I guess Aaron is saying they're also doing a Thor 4. Man. Damien says they're going on to Phase 4. It's probably the end of the Avengers franchise. I didn't know there'd been 4 phases. Nobody told me this stuff. I mean, I was thinking about you could have done everything you did in the Marvel Universe for the last 12 years in like 5 or 6 movies, max. Some of these sequels are totally unnecessary. Some of the standalone movies are totally unnecessary. Let's get into them. This is not done chronologically. First of all, every Marvel series you've got to do away with completely. All of the Marvel series are, I mean, I can't believe that there are people that are like, oh, did you hear Netflix canceled Johnny Cage or whatever series, Nick Cage or Punisher or Daredevil or Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or I'm going, who has time to watch all the Marvel series, as well as all the Marvel movies, as well as the Avengers, and then try to get into the comic books, and then it's too much. Nothing better to do, says, does Batman die in Endgame? Yeah, of course Batman dies in Endgame. The Joker movie is a sequel to the Avengers. I don't know. So I'm wiping out every Marvel series. You don't have to watch any of them. We're just going to go through the movies. And this is supposedly how it's supposed to work chronologically in the universe. Brian Springman says the Avengers are coming. I mean, the Eternals are coming. I don't know what the Eternals are. The level to which you have to suspend disbelief. Here's what I don't like about the superhero movies, is that they keep pushing and pushing and pushing. I like superheroes that are easy to explain. You know what? I'll get into it as we go through some of these movies, because it's specific individual characters. My wallet says, if you got time for Raw, you got time for Netflix. Okay, it's a solid argument. That's the other thing. Like, I can't really hate on comic book movies too bad when I watch like 19 hours of wrestling every single week, but that's neither here nor there. So this is supposedly, if you want to watch the movies not in the order in which they came out, but in the order in which they apply to this universe that's been built, this is the order you're supposed to watch all these Marvel movies in. You're supposed to start with Captain America, the First Avenger. I didn't watch Captain America. Number one, I don't want a history lesson tied into my comic books. I already started to get annoyed when they did that with Wonder Woman. I thought Wonder Woman was great, but when they start to get into applying it to American history, I go, nope. This isn't school. This is supposed to be a comic book. Is supposed to be the thing that you put inside your school book so that you don't actually have to read schoolwork. You're trying to take the school book and put it inside the comic book now. Nope, not for me. So I didn't watch the Captain America, number one, because Captain America seems like a total cheeseball. And number two, I don't want a history lesson in here. If you're going to give me physics, make it so that it's made up. It doesn't make any sense. Okay? So I skipped this Captain America movie. I went straight to Iron Man, and I'm going to tell you this. I have my criticisms about Marvel movies, but to me, Iron Man changed the game. I love the first Iron Man movie. I love the Iron Man character. I think the Iron Man character is far and away the best thing in the Marvel universe. I think probably for me, it goes Batman, and, well, probably, here's how it goes for good guys. Michael Keaton Batman. You know what? I'll give it to him. Christian Bale Batman. Michael Keaton Batman. Iron Man. And then the lead singer from the Lone Rangers in the film Airheads. Those are my top 4 good guy superhero movie characters, I think. Iron Man ranks up there. Very, very strong. I think Iron Man's great. Yeah, I love Iron Man. So I loved this Iron Man movie. This Iron Man movie also felt different. It was kind of in the beginning of the whole Marvel universe. I see here, it says Captain America is full of bunk. He is, and that's one of my problems with him. He appears to be full of bunk, and I find it troubling to take that seriously. But I saw Captain America. I like Captain America. So I'm on board with Captain America. I mean, Iron Man, not Captain America. Not on board with Captain America. I am on board with Iron Man. There are so many characters in this thing that it drives my little brain crazy, and I get confused. Next one up is The Incredible Hulk. The Incredible Hulk is important and historical and interesting because in the whole series, it is the one time when everybody universally agrees that Marvel screwed up. And they did it with like one of the best actors of all time. They threw Edward Norton in. They had him do this Incredible Hulk movie, and apparently it's a piece of trash. I didn't watch it. Matthias says Val Kilmer was great as Batman. No, he was not. Now, I didn't watch Edward Norton. I didn't watch this Incredible Hulk movie. It looked too much like the Godzilla remake. The trailer looks like the Godzilla remake. The poster looks like the Godzilla remake. And I'm not talking about the Bryan Cranston Godzilla remake. I'm talking about the Matthew Broderick Godzilla remake. I'm talking about baby Godzillas in Madison Square Garden Godzilla remake. To me, this Incredible Hulk remake seems like it would be on the level of baby Godzillas in Madison Square Garden Godzilla remake, skipping it entirely, but I do think it's fantastic that Marvel screwed up and they have one movie that everybody agrees is trash. Iron Man 2. I think I saw this. Right. This is the one where Terrence Howard decided, like, I don't need this. I need more money. And Don Cheadle was like, I will take less money. And Don Cheadle gets to star in every movie after that. Is this the one with Mickey Rourke in it? If Iron Man 2 is the one with Mickey Rourke in it, then I remember it because Mickey Rourke had just done The Wrestler. Yeah, and don't they like have a battle on a racetrack or something like that? I think this was really stupid. I don't think that this did anything. This was one of those like middle ones where they're not really telling any story. Nothing moves anywhere. It's just you get to see Iron Man fight a guy. That's the problem. There are a lot of these movies where you're not actually telling a story anymore. You're just kind of filling time because we can make a little bit more money off of that. So if that is the Mickey Rourke one, then, oh yeah, there he is. That's him right there with the lightning ropes coming out of his hand. Yeah, this movie was dumb. Thor. I never watched a Thor movie. I never will watch a Thor movie. I actually think Thor is pretty good in these Avengers movies. He's a funny character. I like Thor. But I'm never going to watch a Thor movie. You know why? I think Greek mythology is stupid and boring. I'm not going to watch... Same reason why I don't watch Game of Thrones. It feels like Greek mythology to me. And I think Greek mythology and fantasy and tales of years gone by and knights and dragons and any of that stuff is dumb, and I don't want anything to do with it. So I'm never going to watch a Thor movie because I think Greek mythology is stupid. and that's where Thor comes from. I see Sam D is making sense. Iron Man 2 is like WWE Fastlane. Did you need a pay-per-view before WrestleMania? No. It really was just an appetizer. I see, yeah. AJ Guerrero, Iron Man 2 are like those Raw filler episodes. I guess so. Yeah, Iron Man 2. But you don't have to pay a whole bunch of money. Like, there's only one Marvel movie every 6 months or so, right? So you waste it with a filler Iron Man 2 like that? I don't think so. Or Greek mythology Thor. I don't want to do it. Okay, we'll get to that, everybody. I see you guys in the chat. The Avengers is what you're supposed to watch next. I remember, okay, I liked the first Avengers movie. This is the first Avengers movie. This is the movie where this is the first movie I saw Thor in. This is the first movie I saw Captain America in. They fixed the Incredible Hulk for this movie. So, and then, Jeremy Renner is like, when you got a whole bunch of superheroes and you got Jeremy Renner who's like, I'm really good at bow and arrow, I'm going like, come on, dude. This guy turns into a green monster. This guy over here, he's Iron Man. He's so rich and smart that he can make a computer suit out of a sweatshirt. You got Thor, who's Greek mythology. You got Captain America, who came from a time machine and has an invincible shield. And you're really good at bow and arrow? Not impressed, buddy. Not impressed. I liked it. It's pretty much just the fight scene, really. I mean, there's like an hour or so of setup and then like 90 minutes of fight scene. But the one thing I don't like about these movies is that I'm watching this going, do you have any idea? They literally destroyed New York City in this movie. I think about like when they took down the World Trade Center, not the Avengers. That was the terrorists. When the terrorists took down the World Trade Center, it took years and so much money and planning and conversations and everything just to get that space back up, just to replace those two buildings. When they start destroying the entire New York City, all I can think about is how long this is going to take, how traffic is going to be horrible because there's going to be construction nonstop, how taxpayers are going to have to pay for all of this. That's the one thing I don't like. All of the destruction, I get that it's cool to see in the movie, but when we're actually talking about places that we get, and it's not just like, oh, the spacemen will come and rebuild it in 2 seconds, then I'm going like, okay, this is going to take forever to clean up. But yeah, I mean, it's fine. It's just mainly fight scene. Yeah, Iron Man 3, I'm positive I did not see Iron Man 3. I didn't see Ben Kingsley in any of these superhero movies. I didn't see Iron Man 3. And no part of me is going, oh man, I should really check that out. No, I did not see Iron Man 3. You get enough of these characters. Iron Man 2, I got that it's like, okay, now we're just milking this character. He's in the Avengers. There's enough good Iron Man movies that you can skip Iron Man 2. You can skip Iron Man 3. Skip Hulk. Skip all the Captain Americas. Skip Thor. Thor the Dark World. Now, I believe this one sucks too. I didn't see it because I don't like Greek mythology, if I've made that clear. I don't like Greek mythology. I'm not seeing it. But a lot of people said this one sucks too, I think. The Dark World. I see Natalie Portman's in it. And Anthony Hopkins. I didn't see Ben King. Hey, start bringing Sir Ben Kingsley, Sir Anthony Hopkins. Will you play our supervillains? Like, well, I don't need all that. Get a big Stay Puft Marshmallow Man or something. You don't need Academy Award winners to be supervillains. I see. Okay, this is making sense. Aaron says Iron Man 3 is the Jinder Mahal WWE Championship push. Okay, good. Okay, so I skipped it. Let's go to the next one. Wait, somebody says it's upstate New York that they destroyed, not New York City. No, they destroyed like Grand Central Station and all that. I saw it. I remember. I got a new super chat in here. Sam, you make living in the present era better. I appreciate that. I try to. Let's celebrate the now and stop worrying about Greek mythology so much. Captain America, the Winter Soldier. I'm not seeing it. History book. Guardians of the Galaxy. This one changed the game. James Gunn came in. He said, if you think there's a lot of quippy dialogue in Marvel movies now, hold my beer. Wait till you see this. Now, I know it's a lot. I feel like I want to know. Chris Pratt's character, Star-Lord, he talks like he writes with a comic writer everywhere that he goes. Like every single thing that he says feels like a comic writer wrote it for him. But I enjoyed Guardians of the Galaxy. I think Batista has been great in all these movies. Every movie that Batista's been in as Drax, he's incredible. And that's not because of my bias. Because this was in the Blue Tista era. This was in the Boo Tista. I was ready to go to Guardians of the Galaxy and Boo Tista. And I didn't boo Tista. I cheered Tista. He's great as Drax. Yeah, I mean, I like the everyman feel of Guardians of the Galaxy. So, yeah, I mean, I like Guardians of the Galaxy, I guess. I'm not going to hate on Guardians of the Galaxy. Volume 2. See, this is where the turnaround started happening. I didn't watch Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 for a long time. I didn't see it in theaters. I was like, okay, I got it. Because I remembered Iron Man 2. I said, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, can't fool me again. So, I didn't go see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 because I said, I saw Iron Man 2. I know how this goes. But then, like, a few months ago, I saw that Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was on Netflix. Jess fell asleep. I was hanging out, had some food. I was like, you know what? Let me watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2 on Netflix right now. It was great. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was fantastic. I liked it just as much as the first one. I might have liked it better than the first one. The ending was all emotional. I thought Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was a tremendous movie. I thought it was great. I loved it. Batista was back and better than ever. I loved it. Nothing better to do says, I like Boob Tista. Yeah. Les Chair says, give me what I want. I'm going to spit all over this microphone. Give me what I want. What I want you to do is see Guardians of the Galaxy. Okay, Batista, I'll see Guardians of the Galaxy. Then we go into Avengers Age of Ultron. I'm pretty sure I saw this movie, and it was just a total waste of everyone's time. I think this movie was only fight scene. Lawrence is criticizing me in the chat. He says, Sam, this movie sucks because this. I didn't see it. Well, yeah. If I know something sucks, why would I go see it? I bet you cried at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. I got emotional at the end. I'm not going to lie. Let's go back to it. I got emotional at the end of this movie. I got emotional. For a long time, I didn't cry in movies. I don't think I full out cried, but I got very heavy-eyed at the end of Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Somebody says nothing better to do says Guardians of the Galaxy 2 was better than Citizen Kane. Maybe. Citizen Kane's a little slow. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 is action-packed. It tells a great story. And yeah, and then at the end, when Michael Rooker, when he is in the Blue Man Group, when he does the right thing, I got very emotional. Very emotional. So I liked it a lot. Heavy-eyed, though. I didn't cry. Age of Ultron. Yeah, I mean, I didn't... James Spader played himself in Age of Ultron. Age of Ultron is just one big fight scene. Like, Age of Ultron is a filler Avengers movie. I saw Age of Ultron. Nothing memorable about it. It's a filler movie. Ant-Man. I'm not seeing Ant-Man. That's one I can tell you right now. With never seeing an Ant-Man movie. I've seen the Ant-Man in 3 movies, I think, in this Marvel universe. I am not going to see an Ant-Man movie. I like Paul Rudd. I'll watch Clueless. I'll watch Knocked Up. I'll watch This Is 40. I'll watch, you know where Paul Rudd was great? I Love You, Man. I love that movie. Great comedy. And, by the way, I don't mind Ant-Man in any of these other Avenger movies. But I don't care. I watched, I think I saw Ant-Man for the first time in the Civil War movie. Roots. I'm just kidding. Of course, Captain America Civil War, which we'll get to. I think that's where I first saw Ant-Man because I'm not watching this movie. And I go, oh, that's like, I get it. He gets big, he gets small. But there's nothing about this character that makes me go, I want to see another 2.5 hours just about him. No. We have to be discerning about our choices here, people. And Lyle Chipperson says, Ant-Man stinks on ice. Yeah. That's what I figured. Captain America Civil War. First of all, this is not Captain America Civil War. This is Captain America versus Iron Man. Technically, this is really an Avengers movie. Can I tell you something? I love this movie. Here's where I stand. I would watch the first Iron Man movie if I were you. I would watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2, and then go right to Civil War. You don't even need the Avengers, really. Go right to Civil War. Civil War is fantastic. I love the Civil War movie. It's Captain America versus Iron Man. The Avengers have split up. Here comes Spider-Man for the first time. Ant-Man, it might as well be for the first time because who's going to see Ant-Man? I loved it. I loved Civil War. I see Wookman says Ant-Man is funny if you liked Guardians. I don't need a whole bunch of funny superhero movies. There's already funny movies. I don't need, no. They try to get you with Deadpool. They try to enough funny superheroes. I don't need any more funny superheroes. They have superpowers already. To have an amazing sense of humor and all of these superpowers, not fair for the rest of us. Okay, C Dumps is getting his comment ready. Jumped in the super chat. Ant-Man is actually pretty funny. Les Chairs wants you to sing Smooth by Santana. Give me your heart. Make it real. Or else forget about it. I did that for you, C Dumps, because you paid to be in the super chat. Yeah, I'm not going to see Ant-Man. There's plenty of comedies out there for me to see. I won't be seeing Ant-Man. Civil War is fantastic. Everybody should see Civil War. You can narrow down the Marvel universe to between 3 and 5 movies, and Civil War is absolutely one of them. Black Panther is another one. Black Panther was great. I know that people want to say that, people just pretend to like this because, racial matters and being woke and whatever. No. Black Panther is one of the best Marvel movies. Iron Man, Guardians, Civil War, Black Panther. All must-sees. I thought Black Panther was great. I was ready to not even like it. To go okay, I don't even know any of these comic book characters. No. I liked Black Panther a lot. Okay, Jason Kilpatrick just said, will you see the Black Widow movie? I think that's the Scarlett Johansson character. I would never see a movie about that character. It's a boring character. Yeah. Black Panther's great. Wakanda Forever. I'm in favor of that. Made me feel good at the end. I thought it was awesome. Thought it was really, really great. And damn if this isn't another good one. I'm going to tell you about this one. I got this one on iTunes. I think it was like $5 or something like that. Aaron says Black Panther was great, but didn't deserve an Oscar nomination. Yeah, none of these deserve Oscar nominations. None of these deserve to be in that conversation. But honestly, Green Book didn't deserve an Oscar nomination, and it won. Bohemian Rhapsody shouldn't have been anywhere near the Oscars. Black Panther was better than Green Book. It was better than Bohemian Rhapsody. It was better than a lot of the movies that got nominated this year. Black Panther was better than 3 Billboards Outside of Whatever. That movie was horrible. Black Panther was 100 times better than that movie Crash that won an Academy Award 10 years ago. Horrible movie. While yes, you're not sitting there. I mean, it's one of the best Marvel movies ever. I don't know that I would give it an Academy Award nomination, but it's better than a lot of other stuff that's been nominated and won. But if you're going to nominate Black Panther, I would put the first Iron Man in that conversation as well. And this movie's great. Spider-Man Homecoming is amazing. I sat there and I was not ready to be like, this is dumb. Eduardo as Spider-Man just destroyed it. First of all, here's what happened, okay? I didn't care about Spider-Man at all as a comic book character. And then when I'm in high school, Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire comes out, and I decided to go see it. I think it was like opening night. I went to go see it, and I became obsessed. I said, this movie is incredible. Spider-Man is the greatest. I love Spider-Man now. So I became interested. Spider-Man 2, I went to see, and I go, okay, Doc Ock, I can still hang with this. I'm okay with this. Spider-Man 3 came out, and I was like, this is one of the worst piece of craps I've ever seen in my life. You just rush through Venom and Carnage and the whole deal in one. Somehow, you rushed through Venom and Carnage in a single film, but still had time to do the single worst dancing montage when Peter Parker goes emo in the history of film. Just horrible. Horrible. Okay? Spider-Man 3 is one of the worst things I've ever seen in my life, and it destroyed that franchise for me. Then Eduardo from Facebook comes, and he becomes the new Spider-Man. I couldn't be less interested in any of that stuff. I don't even think I saw any of them. If I did, it might have been on an airplane and just made no effect on me whatsoever. So then I see this cute little British kid is going to be Spider-Man now, and I go, oh boy, They're going to do this again. Let's see. Rick Taylor. He says, preachy review, leave it in Sammy. Yes, that's me. I'm preachy review, leave it in Sammy. I almost read your comment, Jacob Cook, but it was unflattering, and you didn't pay to be in Super Chat, so I won't be reading your comment. Ha-ha! And I like what you just said, Wookman. That's funny. But I won't say it out loud because it's a spoiler. But yeah, I turned this on because it was like $10. I could watch it in 4K on my TV here in the studio, and I was just like, let me just check this out. I like Marissa Tomei. The kid was funny in the Civil War movie. It was fantastic. His fat Asian friend is awesome. Marissa Tomei is the greatest to have a hot Aunt May. They're not going through the stupid origin story again. He's not going, oh, I got bit by a spider. What am I going to do? It's great. It's great. I would say I would put Spider-Man Homecoming on my list, surprisingly, of must-see. And Iron Man is great in it. That's what I mean. There's no reason to see Iron Man 2 or Iron Man 3. When you've got Iron Man, you got Civil War with Iron Man, you got Spider-Man with Iron Man. What do you need? And then you got this Avengers? Come on. Next on the list, Doctor Strange. Now, Doctor Strange, that falls into my category of this movie sucks, I've never seen it. Why would anybody see a Doctor Strange movie? I won't see a Doctor Strange movie. It's not going to happen. Here's what I don't like about Doctor Strange. I'll tell you. Doctor Strange, when I think about superheroes, I think about them in the context of the elevator pitch. I think about them in the context of what makes them superheroes fast. Tell me right now. I think about them in the context of when you're a kid and somebody says, hey, if you could have any superpower, what would you have? I'd be invisible. I could fly. I'd be bulletproof. I'd have X-ray vision. All that stuff makes sense. That's why Hollow Man is such a great movie with Kevin Bacon. Hollow Man makes sense. He's invisible. What would you do if you were invisible? Everything Hollow Man did. But who sits there and goes like, well, what if you could have any superpower in the world, what would it be? Well, it would be the ability to manipulate time and wear a wizard's cape that had a mind of its own. And through manipulation of time, it would allow me to open portals into other places and times. Okay, shut up. This is the ultimate nerdy superhero. It's too much. It's too much. Like, it's just an eye roll after eye roll after eye roll. I get annoyed when Doctor Strange shows up in any of the Avengers movies. I'm right. It makes me like Iron Man even more that he thinks he's such a douche. Because he is. Like, come on. We're trying to put these superheroes into a world that we can relate to. And if you saw Doctor Strange walking around in New York City, he'd get his ass kicked every single day. Sucks. Just seeing Doctor Strange annoys me. And, it's not the actor. It's the character. I think he's an annoying guy. Now you're just hating, says Big. Well, I'll hate on Doctor Strange all day. Ant-Man and the Wasp. If you went and saw Ant-Man and the Wasp, I don't have a lot of respect for you. So stupid. Captain Marvel. Doesn't do anything for me. Captain Marvel feels like Marvel's answer to Superman. Captain Marvel, they're like, we also need a superhero that could just do everything. Hey, what if one superhero just had all the powers and could beat everybody? Oh, here's Captain Marvel. And like the name being Captain Marvel, like the Marvel superheroes are not supposed to be aware of the Marvel universe. So to be named Captain Marvel, even though you're probably like, it's saying like, well, I Marvel people. We know what you're doing. It's a tip of the hat to the fact that you're created by Marvel. And once you're a comic book character that knows you were created by a group of artists in an office building, you're kind of taking me out of the movie. So I didn't see Captain Marvel. She shows up in the Avengers. That's not a spoiler. But yeah, I'm not the biggest. I like Wonder Woman 100 times better than I like Captain Marvel. And I like this Brie Larson. I saw that movie Room and The Room. Ironically, Room and The Room, both amazing movies for very different reasons. But I think Brie Larson's great. I'm just not a Captain Marvel fan. Thor Ragnarok. Okay, this is the one. I saw you guys in the chat. A lot of people say that Thor Ragnarok was great. I didn't see it. You know why I didn't see it? Because I think Greek mythology is stupid. Okay? People love Thor Ragnarok. Okay, Jacob Cook says you're showing these out of order. This is not chronologically when they were released. This is chronologically when the universe is supposed to exist. I got this off some nerd website, okay? I don't know. I don't know what order they're supposed to be in, but this is what the nerd website listed them as being in. So this is what we're doing. Now, I'll say you can skip Thor Ragnarok mainly because I didn't see it, which doesn't seem entirely fair. But a lot of you guys are saying it was amazing. So, you know, like Brian Springman is saying, watch Ragnarok, you will like it. You know, a lot of people love this movie, so I'm not going to sit here. I don't watch Thor movies, you know, so this gets in the way. Then you got Avengers Infinity War. Thanos comes down to Earth. He throws the She-Hulk off the mountain because it's his daughter. He gets all the stones on his glove. He turns everybody to dust. I didn't like this movie. I thought this movie was a giant tease. I thought, like, because you go in, right? And here's, you know that when you start this thing, like, because you're watching a Marvel comic book movie, you know that here's how it works. This guy, Thanos, he's going to kill the She-Hulk. He's going to get all the stones. And it's going to look like the Avengers will never be able to beat him, and the world as we know it is going to get destroyed. Until they figure out this one little thing, and then they're going to be able to defeat him. Like, that's how it works. That's how it has to work. That's how it will work. So the fact that you have to sit through a 2.5-hour movie to only get to Act 2, and then go through another 3 hours for the inevitable to happen, annoys me. You didn't have to do this movie at all. Okay, and I know this is controversial because people love this movie. Here's why I didn't like it. When Thanos snaps his fingers and he turns half the superhero to dust, you know that Marvel is not killing off half of their superheroes. Okay? Thanos. These names are so stupid. When Thanos snaps his fingers, he wants to kill half the population, so he's going to kill half the superheroes. He's going to turn them to dust, and he wipes them out, right? You know that Marvel is not going to allow half of their superheroes to just turn to dust, and that's going to be the end of the story. So immediately you know that everybody that turned to dust is not really dead, right? So there is no, at the end of that movie, when you're like, oh my God, half the superheroes are dead, nobody really thinks that those superheroes aren't coming back. And you have it separated in a way. You're like, okay, does that mean the She-Hulk is coming back? And you're like, no, he threw the She-Hulk from the Guardians of the Galaxy off the mountain. She didn't turn to dust. She broke her neck on the floor. So, and I don't mind spoiling, by the way, Infinity War, because this movie's a year old. So, we know she's not coming back. Well, we now created a differential, right? He didn't throw everybody off the mountain that he didn't like. He turned half the superheroes into dust, except he threw her off the mountain. So, we know the characters that he's turning into dust are coming back, because she's not coming back, right? So we know the difference between actually dying and not really dying. So when half the superheroes die in a way that's not the same as really dying, like getting thrown off a mountain, we sit there and we go, okay, well, all those superheroes are obviously coming back. That's the whole point of the next movie. And so I leave going like, well, of course they're going to beat Thanos and all those heroes are coming back. Who cares? That's what I left Infinity War saying. Who cares? Show me the next one now so I can have something to care about. I don't care about anything in this movie. Oh, it's not She-Hulk, dipshit. It's Gamora. Oh, ooh, sorry. Klesham says, you sound resentful towards comic book movies for a guy with action figures and pop vinyls on his table. First of all, one has nothing to do with the other. All the pop vinyls and action figures on my table are either wrestling or a horror movie or a couple of Simpsons or Biggie Smalls is over there. Pop culture stuff. They're not comic book stuff. And I'm not resentful at all towards superhero movies. As I've said going down this list right now, must-see movies. Iron Man is a must-see movie. Black Panther is a must-see movie. Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2 are both must-see movies. Spider-Man is a must-see movie. Those are 5 amazing movies. But the only problem is Marvel's made 150,000 of them. And then the final one, or theoretically the final one, even though they got 3 more coming out, is Avengers Endgame. And Avengers Endgame was actually great. I must admit. It was actually really, really good. Sam D says, Sam, how much super chat cash to do a live Ant-Man watch-along? Man, if you guys really want that, maybe I would do it. Maybe I would do it. I would need a lot of super chat, though. I would need you to really prove that you wanted it by donating on the super chat there. So there you go. So there's my 6. There's my 6 that you should watch. I think you should go see Avengers Endgame. I thought it was great. That's why I'm not doing spoilers, because I thought it was great. Maybe next week we'll come back here on Sam Roberts Now, here on YouTube, and we'll do another show where it's spoiler-filled, and we can actually have a conversation about it. But yeah, I mean, I thought it was really good, and I would recommend going to see it. Other than that, I would say those are my 6. Avengers Endgame is the 6th. Black Panther, Spider-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. It's the only one that got a sequel, and Iron Man. Those are the 6 that you really need to see. Now, some people are suggesting watch along with Ragnarok because Ragnarok is actually good. I think that people want to see me watch Ant-Man because I'm so annoyed by the whole premise. Like, oh, okay, I get it. I don't know. We'll do something. Maybe we'll do some watch-alongs. We'll do all kinds of stuff. I'm glad you guys are really enjoying this and have enjoyed it here. If you've got anything else you want to jump into Super Chat, any questions you want to ask or anything like that, hit them up now because we're about to sign off. Don't forget, if you like live programming here on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/notsam, we do the Tomorrow Show. That's every Thursday. Is it Wednesday or Thursday? I think it's every Wednesday night. Every Wednesday night, right around 10 p.m. Eastern or so, Kevin Undergaro and Roxy Stryer come on, and they do the Tomorrow Show, which I love as a show, just because you got this guy, Kevin Undergaro. He's married to Maria Menounos. He's a player in show business, but he goes into his studio, surrounds himself with millennials who don't take him seriously, and they just talk about whatever's on their mind. They wear Star Trek outfits. It's a really bizarre show, and I absolutely love it. Plus, just as you're watching thinking like, oh, this is such a goofy thing, there are these little life lessons that get thrown at you that you can really grow from. So I would recommend checking it out if you haven't checked it out yet. I see you, Giancarlo. Sam, you would love Ant-Man. I don't want to watch Ant-Man. I just don't want to watch it. All right, guys. I'm going to sign off for now. I appreciate all of you being a part of Sam Roberts Now. It's been a lot of fun. We'll be back soon right here on this here YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you got your notifications on. And that way, every time we go live, you will know that Sam Roberts is now. You got 5 styluses. You might as well use them. We will see you next time. And I'll try to get the intro working next time, okay? If you don't know what I'm talking about, watch from the beginning. Goodbye, everybody.